Shri Gurucharitra Chapter 26 Shri Gurudeva Datta Parabrahmane Namaha. Advice to Brahmins. Description of Vedas. Shri Guruji, while addressing those ignorant Brahmins who were highly conceited, arrogant, and pleaders of Vedas, said, O Brahmin scholars, one cannot be knowledgeable by exhibiting his ability and skill of argument. Pride of knowledge sends us to hell. Even the creator of this universe, Lord Brahma, could not grasp fully the beginning and end of Vedas. What you have known is an atom of it only, and more of it is left to be learned. Our scriptures and Vedas are not meant for debate and arguments but for practice. Your deliberations and conduct are unfounded, uncalled for. By bookish knowledge, one's purpose of life is not fulfilled. Even sage Vedavyas, who is the true incarnate of Lord Sri Mahavishnu, could not candidly publish Vedas. What he has elaborated is very little. In the past, there were 4 dedicated disciples at the hermitage of sage Vedavyas by names Paila, Vaishampayan, Jamini, and Sumanta, who were studying Vedas. Once sage Vedavyas, referring to them, said, Hey disciples, it is not possible to study the infinite Vedas thoroughly in one human birth. Each Veda needs one kalpa, a period of 1,000 yugas, for learning. Therefore, now what I am going to explain to you is only the beginning and end of Vedas. In ancient times, sage Bharadwaj continued to study Vedas sincerely for more than 100 years, but he could know only very little of them and nothing more. To study the Vedas fully, he observed penance for a very long period. Impressed by his penance, Lord Brahma appeared before him and told him to seek boon desired by him. Then sage Bharadwaj expressed his desire to learn Vedas from beginning to end. Pleased, Lord Brahma started elaborating the Vedas in detail. O sage, the Vedas which are infinite are not known even to me, being the creator of this universe fully. They are not manifested to anyone wholly. What I have learnt is very little. I am going to teach you bit by bit and not fully. Thus saying, he showed him infinite Vedas which were of the magnitude of 3 mountains and told him to learn only what he could learn. To sage Bharadwaj, Vedas appeared like the brilliance of crores of suns. Then he got scared and surprised at a time. Sage Bharadwaj, speaking to Brahma, said, Hey father, I am unable to study Vedas which are in heaps. Kindly excuse me for my ignorance and insistence. The Vedas, which are of the magnitude of mountains, have neither beginning nor end. I cannot learn them for births together. Now I shall start learning what is going to be told to me. Thus said sage Bharadwaj. Then Lord Brahma passed on 3 handfuls of Vedas to him for studying. 4 Vedas have been composed by separating them into 4 prime Vedas. Sage Bharadwaj continues to study them since then till today, as there is no end for learning Vedas. But so far, what he has learnt is not even a particle of it. Sage Vedvyas spoke to his disciples thus. Dear disciples, I have given you briefly an idea of infinite Vedas in clear-cut terms. Let alone 4 Vedas, one finds it very laborious even to study one Veda. 4 of you study these 4 Vedas in the order which I am going to tell you now. Shri Nasi Saraswati Guruji, referring to those conceited Brahmins, said thus. O Brahmins, when the disciples of Vedvyas found it difficult to study the Vedas separately, even one by one, how can you get acquainted with all the 4 Vedas and scriptures within a period of only a few years and become scholars? Sage Vedvyas, while addressing his disciples, told this way. Dear disciples, Bharadwaj realized his inability to study all 4 Vedas. Therefore, he tried to learn at least one Veda completely. His efforts fructified. Then the 4 disciples of Vyasmuni pleaded their incompetence to learn all 4 Vedas fully at a time and requested the sage to teach one Veda each from beginning to end. Therefore, they could endeavor to study them according to the best of their ability. Thus, the four disciples, Paila, Vishwampayan, Jamini, and Sumant, prayed before Vyas Muni to be graceful to teach them Vedas. Sage Vedvyas studied all four Vedas and made divisions. First, he called his disciple by name Paila and explained to him the greatness of Rigveda. He imparted full knowledge of Rigveda and advised him to study the same. The sage gave an account of its contemplation, color, form, phenomenon, and the differentiation, dissensus components, virtues of Rigveda, Purusha, and the sage advised him to import this form of Rigveda in his mind and meditate upon. Vyas Muni also told him the 12 breakups of Rigveda. Later, the sage called another of his disciples, Vanshampayan, and advised him to study Yajurveda. He explained to him about its subdivisions, race, presiding deity, prosody, and the form of image to be contemplated upon. Besides, he also narrated 86 differentiated branches and another 28 residuary limbs, and told him that as it was not possible to study it fully, he should at least study the Shakha Vedas of it to the best of his ability. Later, as per the request of Vaishampayan, he explained the origin of Yajurveda and the differentiated versions of Mantra, Brahma, Sanhite, and three differentiated versions and other branches of it, and urged him to study the same with a sense of deep dedication and commitment. Besides that, he also elaborated in detail 7 Ashtaka Samhitas, which are the source of sacrificial fire rituals. This way, the disciple Vaishampayan studied the detailed mantra Brahman, the part of Yajurveda, directly from sage Vyas. Thereafter, sage Vyas called his third disciple Jaimini and narrated to him the race, the form to be contemplated upon, God, prosody, color, and the details about thousands of differentiations. No one so far has succeeded in learning the Samveda fully, said Guruji to those arrogant Brahmins. Then he questioned the so called scholars thus: then how can you move around declaring yourselves as the scholars of Vedas on ill founded notions and argue with other Brahmins? Later, sage Vyasa called upon his fourth disciple by name Sumantu and elaborated to him about Atharvana Veda. He further gave an account of its sub-Veda, race, preceding deity, prosody, color, form, nature, 9 forms of differentiations, and other details. This way, sage Vyasa explained 4 Vedas in a general way to his favorite 4 disciples. Due to the generosity of Vyas Muni, today Vedas are accessible for studies to the interested ones. Speaking to those argumentative type of Brahmins, Guruji said, O conceited Brahmins, due to the evil influence of the rulers of this era, the Brahmins in this age have become corrupt minded so far as their religions and duties and obligations are concerned. As the low witted, stupid Brahmins, motivated by greed for money, have started reciting Vedas in the presence of Muslims and the undeserving ones, the Vedas have lost their inherent strength and the Brahmins have become restless, thereby losing stability, happiness, and peace of mind in life. In the olden times, the Brahmins were well versed in Vedas. They considered Vedas as their sole precious wealth. Even though they were engaged in the religious activities, they had no high expectations, despite the fact that they were adored, worshipped by all, right from the common man to the king, and offered everything to them. They were not after that. They had no expectations of whatsoever nature, like money, honor, gold, felicitation, etc. They were so rich in their thoughts and conduct that even the gods were scared of them and used to respect them. Even the Supreme Godhead, Lord Vishnu, used to worship and respect Brahmins. But today, the Brahmins, guided by greed for money, have drifted from the path of scriptures and got themselves engaged in irreligious activities. Therefore, they have become powerless and are in the service of low cultured and alien people. For the sake of money, they even do not hesitate to distance themselves from the righteous path and to sell Vedas. O Brahmins, even in the entire universe except Sriman Narayan, no one has known the Vedas fully so far. This being the fact, you, the low witted ones, how much Vedas have you understood? The sacred Vedas are to be recited for pleasing the God and earning His love. Vedas are never to be recited for petty gains like money, honor, felicitation, etc. One should try to become pious by seeking shelter under the umbrella of Vedas. Vedas are not to be used as instruments to hurt the feeling of Brahmins by way of arguments and discussions. Whatever Vedic knowledge you have acquired should be utilized for enlightenment and not for exhibiting scholarship and debate. Your actions amount to wrong deeds against God and as such are not pardonable. You should say goodbye to your meaningless disputatious mentality today itself. I am giving this piece of beneficial advice for your betterment only. You just respect it. Henceforth, you people should not indulge in such useless arguments with anyone. Should you discard and go against my words, end to your life soon is a reality. Guruji's beneficial advice was not to the liking of those ignorant and arrogant Brahmins. They did not give up their stupid and adamant mentality. They insisted for a debate. Speaking to Guruji, they said, Hey, the master, since sage Trivikram Bharati finds it difficult to make arguments with us and has expressed his incompetence to do so, at least you should be prepared for it. As you are ill equipped with the knowledge of Vedas, you are avoiding the debate. It seems you are scared of us. This is the reason you, instead of making arguments with us, are imparting this type of dry philosophy. If you have enough courage, competence, get prepared for making arguments with us. If we return without procuring victory certificates from you, the low ordered king is bound to presume that we have been defeated in the arguments and will start humiliating us. Then our honor is bound to be at stake. As per the well-known dictum, Vinaha Kale Viparita Buddhi, excessive wisdom at the time of destruction, those ignorant Brahmins discarded the preaching of Shri Guruji. In fact, they served an invitation to the death god by exhibiting their arrogant behavior. That was uncalled for. Continuing their arguments with Shri Guruji, they insisted thus. Hey the master, do not take us to be ordinary Brahmins. We are well versed in three Vedas. We are prepared to show our scholarship just now by reciting Vedas in your presence. We are going to prove our merit. Here ends the 26th chapter in the most auspicious Shri Gurucharitra. Shri Gurudeva Datta, Shri Gurudeva Dattatreya Arpanamastu.